You, Jeff.
Hello and welcome to For Future Generations, episode 74 for the 2nd of August. Dude, time flies. It's August already. We are getting into the second half of the year. Summer is almost over, but hang on. White boy summer is not over yet. You know, hang tight, guys. We're not quite done. But I am Jeff Waugh, and I am doing well. And I am joined, as always, by Sean. Sean, how are you doing, man?
I am not doing as well, which is why I wasn't here last week, as I'm sure 3 people noticed. It was actually a really good show. I listened to it. I usually listen to our shows, and so I was like, well, I got to listen to this one because I wasn't even involved in it. So, yeah, nothing of value was lost, except, like you said, like things weren't showing on the screen.
Yeah, I had nobody to call me an idiot and say, "Hey, retard, wake up!"
Yeah, because I was listening to it and I'm like, I don't think you're playing the thing you think you're playing. Like even as I'm listening to it.
Yeah, you weren't even watching it.
I'm so used to being like, "Hey, you're not doing it."
But
other than that,
we made it.
Yeah, other than that, we were talking. I got invited. Silly story. I got invited by a local friend who is like big into all the politics in the area to an after show for a True Texas Project thing, because True Texas Project was even closer to my house this time than it was the time you were here. Like it was
That's a feed
right around the corner. And I mean, it was like one of the closest churches that you can get to my house. But I had to work all day. And so my buddy was like, "Hey man, I know you're working, but we got this after party thing." And so I go thinking it's going to be like when you came over, when we're just like drinking Lone Stars in the backyard, doing nothing serious. So I show up, wearing this more or less, right? Just shirt and a hat.
Yeah.
And,
ready to chill.
Yeah, and it is at one of the local politicians' mansion, and I'm like, "Bro, what is this?" And like everyone's got their jackets. I'm like, "Oh no!" So like,
look around in ties and stuff too.
Yeah. So I show up.
Oh no!
I don't know why our guys don't really do ties. They all do the jacket with the
the jacket and the collared shirt,
just like what you have
down.
Now.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah,
unbuttoned. You know.
Yeah. But anyway, so I show up looking like a bum. But there was I had said the only guy that was dressed down more than me was Godfrey. I'm losing my
Paul Godfrey.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I recognized him. I was kind of like, "That's Paul Godfrey, isn't it?" Because we had, we sat down and talked with him at back the weekend that Trump got shot.
24, wasn't it? July 24?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I saw him and I was like, "Man, I finally read your book, Fascism, Career of a Concept." And he just lit up. And it was so cool, like, talking to him. But like I said, he was the only one who was, like, dressed down more than me because he had shorts on. At least I had, like, boots and jeans. But he's an old man, so he doesn't care.
He can do what he wants.
Yeah. But it was a great time. Talked with CJ Engel for a bit. That was cool. Like I said, I was like shirt and hat. So like I had my shark stuff on and he was like, "Where are you from?" So like we find out there's a lot of our guys come from Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know that. Stephen Wolf is from Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Northern California.
CJ
Engel. There was a couple other guys we were talking about. Another guy stopped me. He was born in the same city I was born in. Like, it was just like a lot of guys.
Wow.
A lot of guys come from that area and obviously leave, and then, you know.
Yeah, and come to Texas because
and then
California.
they're more conservative than the locals. But it was just cool. It was cool to see a bunch of guys like in person. A lot of guys I know online, a lot of guys that I've become friends with now that I know that they're local. And almost to a person, I promise I'm not exaggerating this, everyone was wearing a Deus Volt lapel pin. It was so crazy, dude. Yeah, I saw a couple of the 250s here. Like this one, I love this one. And man, dude, I like everyone had, one guy had the white and gold Jerusalem cross pin, and he's not I didn't even know was like in our kind of circles. And I'm like, oh, hey, dude, like that's a Deus Volt lapel pin, huh? He's like, yeah. And like, he's not a guy that I thought would know of that company. So it was cool to see everyone wearing it. I guess that's a good transition, but it was just, it's crazy how many people have Deus Volt lapel pins now when you go to some of these events. They're very, very popular.
Yeah. And what is the proper color right now? We're in green?
We're in green. Yeah. Green and gold.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Deus Volt lapel pins, guys, Deus Volt lapel pins. Now, because I was pretty sure, but I wasn't exactly positive that we're in green and gold, I went ahead and pulled that one out to show off for you guys. If you want to wear the liturgical colors, if you want to be put together, look like you actually care about what you look like. Yeah, maybe you're fishing for a girl. Maybe you know, maybe you want to look nice so that a girl notices that you put your outfit together and you're not just a bum who found a used coat in a drawer somewhere and threw it on. But Deus Volt lapel pins, guys, fantastic stuff. You can bling up your outfit a little bit. I have this, which is the Lone Bulwark America pin. You can find that on the cover of Stephen Wolf's book. And really, really cool. I love this. It's one of my favorite of his designs. Other favorites of mine are, of course, the Bonnie Blue Texas pin, which I highly recommend. And the White Boy Summer pin, which I've already shown you. You know,
that's the one I was wearing on my hat. Was that one? I got a lot of questions like, "What is this? Like, what
is it?" Well, it's White Boy Summer, dude. Yeah, it's time to White Boy Summer, and of course, you know, you've got the Lone Bulwark right there.
I love that the card for that is the post that it's based off.
Yeah,
of. Like that's hilarious to me. Just there's a lot of detail that goes into choices that.
Yeah, I mean the lore is great. I mean, for example, the White Boy Summer pin. You know, the card on that one says retake everything. And I believe that's a Narnia from the Narnia movies. I didn't watch the movies. I read the books and I love the books. I grew up watching the BBC Narnia, which that was ages and ages ago. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't even know who C.S. Lewis was until college-ish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I knew him for any of his work other than that. But Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, long old-time classic. But to get back to our sponsor, Deus Volt lapel pins, we've got the Cairo pin. Very cool, white and gold. That thing is just beautiful. And I am fond of the Cairo design, but I very rarely see an execution that I actually really like. This one, the proportions are just beautiful. I mean, I could autistically spurg out on this for a couple minutes, but I won't. I shall spare you. We got the Saxon Cross Native Americans pin. I put that one in a hat. I
saw that one at the event.
Yeah, if you wear this one to, for example, a 4th of July parade, which I did, you will have to explain it to people because they will have questions. What is that? And then you get to tell them about the glorious history of this flag. It's very cool. El Cid Reconquista sticker set. So you can now buy not just sticker packs, but you can buy sets of the same sticker if you want to, go and vandalize telephone poles.
A gas station.
We do not condone this behavior, but if you do, this is how you would get it. But also, we got the base states. We got Virginia and South Carolina and Rhode Island, of all places, added to the lineup now. So if you are in those states and you want a Deus Vult lapel pin to say, this state will be for Christ, I dedicate my state to Christ. And Washington, late to the party, but love to see Washington. Guys, Washington is a beautiful state, and we really need to we need to retake Washington. We need to take back Washington. Drive all those weirdos out into the ocean, or maybe right across the border into Canada. Who knows? Got Bonnie Blue, Florida, the Christ is King pin, and one of my favorite, the American Crusader lapel pin, which I've told the story of that one before, so I won't do it again. But go to deusvoltlapelpins.com, guys. We've got all kinds of historic figures. We've got historic flags and sigils, as well as these new full height figures, Davy Crockett, George Washington. We've got Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. Fantastic, cool stuff going on at Deus Vult Lapel Pin. So do not forget to use our code FFGDV26 at checkout for 10% off your order. Do that. Don't be a schlub. Don't forget to use the discount. Not only will you save 10%, which, if you buy 10 pins, it's like you got another one free. I mean, that's a little bit of girl math, but I won't get into that too much. But man, it also, what it does is it tells the guys over at Deus Vult that we sent you. And so that gives them the message that, hey, your sponsorship with For Future Generations is fruitful. So we'd really appreciate it if you use that code. Also, there is a link in the description. If you click that link, that discount code will be populated into your cart at checkout automatically. So don't forget to use that code. Go to Deus Vult Lapel Pins. Thank you, Deus Vult, for sponsoring our show. And with that, let's get back into the news. Now, we had some things we wanted to talk about this week, and they got kind of pushed to the back burner. And we will probably talk about them next week, because some crazy things happened on Friday. Now, for some of us, that was Thursday evening, Friday morning when this was going on over in Europe and in North Africa. But I'll just pop over to this right here, and I'm just going to show you, if you Google right now, the word Ceuta, which is the name of a Spanish city in North Africa. Thousands of migrants surged from Morocco into Spanish enclave Ceuta. Now, I did not know how to pronounce this word. I had to look it up, but evidently that is pronounced Ceuta. And Ceuta is a North African city-state, or a city that belongs to the state of Spain, and has since before the founding of the nation-state of Morocco. So this is not colonialism. This is not anything of the sort. This is land that has always belonged to Spain. All right? The Romans occupied this city. It is an ancient land full of European history. It is not, hear me clearly when I say this, it is not African. And that is very important for the news here. But thousands of migrants surged to Morocco. That is as you can see from this New York Times headline, an understatement. 50,000 migrants surged into Ceuta, a Spanish enclave in North Morocco. And, it's causing a lot of political hubbub. But here is, and I apologize for using a French website, but France 24 wrote this article, and I thought it was pretty well done. Spain's undocumented migrant amnesty scheme draws more than 1 million applicants. This was posted on the 30th of June. So last month, Spain gave amnesty, just like Ronald Reagan, our favorite president, gave a bunch of amnesty to Mexicans and said, okay, just this once, we're going to give you amnesty and then no more. And Sean, how'd that work out? I mean, you're from California.
Oh, boy. I grew up a minority. That was essentially...
Yeah. So giving amnesty back in the 80s didn't fix it in the 90s, did it? Well, here we have more than 1 million undocumented migrants. Okay, read illegal invaders in Spain have applied for legal status under a vast regulation scheme launched in April that grants eligibility to the right to live and work in the country. And it puts you on the path to citizenship. So you get these millions of people now who are in Spain given the opportunity to become legal residents, voters, all of that. And then what do you know? This month, Moroccan nationals flood into a city on the border with Morocco to try to invade Spain and become citizens. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming? Literally everybody. But here we have, Facebook or Twitter. If you just go on Twitter and you look up, misspelled here, Ceuta, but I think it's actually, didn't I just say it's Ceuta, not Ceuta? But if you misspell it, you still get the right, still get all these videos of people just flooding the border. And let me blow that up and play some of this for you.
That is horrifying, dude. Like,
just they're coming in on dinghies and they're literally assaulting the walls to climb into this city. And this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And you can just keep on scrolling. And here's a map kind of showing you what it looks like. Here's Gibraltar, the little peninsula over here, Algeciras, and then across you have Ceuta. And here you have literally dump trucks of people being shipped by the Moroccan authorities to the border. And, do these people look like refugees to you, Sean?
No, they look like fighting age men.
They look like fighting age men out for a party. I mean, they are...
they look like they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, they're waving flags. They're, waving the flags of Morocco, waving their arms in the air. They're cheering. There's an ambulance driving by. My dogs are going crazy. But, leading to violent crime in the streets. Here's another video. Let me just full screen that for you. So, again, another video of just thousands of people, literally tens of thousands of people assaulting the walls of Ceuta. And, and this was a video that came out of that whole ordeal that I thought was just absolutely flabbergasting. Let me try and make it a little smaller so that we can see more of the video. But here is, you see people, they've overwhelmed the border authorities, and they're just running down the street. And here's this woman recording the whole thing, waving them on. And people are speculating about who this woman is. I mean, she's waving them in. Here you've got liberal white women, right? Just waving in the invaders. Hey, come in. Ceuta is for everybody. Ceuta is for Africa. And just to give you some perspective, I was reading about it. Ceuta is a city of 58,000 people. And 50,000 people, it's estimated, invaded in one day. Now, all this happened in one day. All right, that took some planning. That took some foresight. This wasn't just spontaneous. Hey, let's all go over there, guys. 50,000 people in one day. And here is a close-up of the face of that woman. Does she look Spanish to you?
Man, dude, that looks like an optical illusion. Like, how can a nose go that high up at the bridge? Like,
yeah, some people are saying this is AI, which it could be, might be, but if you look at the face in the background, that also doesn't look very human. But people, of course, took this picture and they're running with it. They're speculating, this woman doesn't look very Spanish. I mean, what she looks like, even in this picture, is she looks Lebanese or Carthaginian. And, if we are to trust that, some sort of Semitic kind of facial structure. But people some people saying it's AI, other people saying it's legitimate. Of course, in this day and age, you can't tell.
I don't know, dude. That's like, I mean, I don't know. Is that what you would call this up here? What the T zone?
Yeah,
T zone of that
going all the way up into the eyebrows
would have to be like way up here without that. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
That just doesn't look. Right.
I have seen some people that it does go that high. This is not an impossible physiognomy, but anyway, do with that what you will. But people pointing out, hey, it's been established that this was not spontaneous, that the government of Morocco orchestrated this. Nearly 50,000 Moroccan nationals transported from towns and villages across Morocco using trucks and heavy vehicles organized by the government before being funneled into the 2 Spanish enclaves. Ceuta is just one of the 2 cities hit by this spontaneous movement of people. The objective was to exert political pressure on the Spanish government in an effort to force concessions over Morocco's long-standing claim to Ceuta and Melilla. And we got videos here of people.
Yeah. And Muslim Billy Ray Cyrus over here.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is they're always playing this loud music.
Yeah. It's a celebration.
Very, very third world, hanging on the side of the bus, hanging off the truck, playing loud music everywhere they go.
I gotta say though, the one dude hanging off the side is rocking that mullet. Like that is one of the better mullets I've seen in a long time, dude.
It was very well done, I will say. I mean, I'm not fond of mullets, but every once in a while I'll see one, I'll be like, well, if they all looked like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, these people cheering, waving their arms, and when people interview these people, they ask them, hey, why are you doing this? They don't say, oh, Ceuta belongs to Morocco, Melilla belongs to Morocco. What they say is, we want to get out of Morocco. We want to become Spanish citizens. So going back to, that piece where they talk about, they gave amnesty to all these people. That's why they're showing up. Because why wouldn't they? If you're going to tell them that they're going to get amnesty, they get a chance to escape the hellhole that is Arab-run North Africa. Yeah, well, why wouldn't you? And here's a little bit of context for you. In April, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio had already begun giving Morocco $20 million to begin preparing the Ceuta plan. What is he talking about? Well, here is the text from U.S. Congressional Report back in April stating for the first time, quote, Ceuta and Melilla are located in Moroccan territory and remain the subject of Morocco's long-standing claim. So, our government...
Can I just, real quick, historically, the idea that any Muslim people has a claim to North Africa is insane. Like, that's an insane idea. Because, like, that's essentially... They conquered all of Spain at one point. Like it was
up into France.
Yeah. Like when you talk about the
up into the middle of France. I mean, if you look up Tours on a map, it is not in the bottom of France.
Yeah. Like, so that to say, like when we talk about the Reconquista, that was against these people, these Muslims. Like the Moroccans don't have a claim to North Africa. North Africa it was part of the Roman Empire. It was not a bunch of black people. I've seen some crazy maps where people are trying to say like, oh, of course, the Odyssey would have been diverse because look how close it is to Africa. Like, I'm like,
Africa was not full of Arabs and sub-Saharans at the time. It was full of Mediterraneans.
Right.
Yeah, it was full of what today North Italians look like, right? Not Sicilians, but Nepalese, right? Your blonde Italians. That's what all of the Mediterranean looked like before these Muslim invasions.
Yeah. Well, I brought this up before. Like, if you go and donate blood or blood plasma, they will ask you what your race is. And if you say white, the definition that they have for white is the original inhabitants of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. That is what a white man is. Like, scientifically. white people, the original inhabitants of the Mediterranean and the European continent, and of course the British Isles and all that. But like it's always been known that North Africa was a white area, just mostly because of the Roman Empire. Like cities like Alexandria, that wasn't Egyptians. Like building the Library of Alexandria wasn't a bunch of like pharaoh looking people, right? Like it was the guy that looked like
Greeks.
Yeah. It was like descendants of it was like Alexander the Great had something to do with the way that Egypt was at the time. I don't know.
I mean, Alexander the Great, according to all the records that we have of him, both paintings and descriptions and frescoes and all of these things, blonde hair, blue eyes. All right. Notably blonde hair, blue-eyed Greek guy. And he was a typical picture of what, the Mediterranean looked like at the time. That's what Greeks looked like at the time. So, Marco Rubio, big L here. And here is Thomas Massey, whom I still like. I know MAGA really hates him right now, but he says, don't fall for the fake Fox GOP outrage. 2 weeks ago, the House passed a bill that green lighted, but how would you put that in the past tense? Isn't it green lit?
I would have said green lit, but I know what he means.
Greenlit the transfer of Spanish territory to Morocco. Every Republican except me voted for it, but now they are shocked at the invasion. And this is the thing that I think is so aggravating is, our leaders who are supposed to represent us, they can't wait for the first opportunity to sell us out to our enemies.
Yep.
To grant H-1B visas to infinity Guatemalans to come and invade your country, live off of welfare. I was seeing this week, the average H-1B worker who comes here brings with him 15 other people in a chain. Family members that, they survive off of my living, so they have to come with me. Yeah. So H-1B visas isn't the whole story. It's the whole pile of these people. And Ceuta has been invaded, and it has been very bad. Department of Deportations shared this. Breaking horrifying footage. Moroccan Muslim invader stabbing a Spanish citizen of Ceuta in the neck and fleeing the scene. And I mean, it's not super graphic. There's no blood, but you do watch this guy get murdered. So if you are queasy, if you're maybe if you've got kids watching, don't do that. But I am going to play this. So full warning. Here goes. You just watch these Guatemalans running through the street. He just stabs the guy in the throat. Now, to me, it looked like he just punched him.
That's what I thought.
That's what it looked like to be. I mean, he gets knocked out and he falls to the ground. But there are multiple sources, including official news sources, saying that he was stabbed. So, stabbed in the neck, and he just goes down. I mean, this guy probably died. All right. If you get stabbed in the neck like that and you go down, I mean, this is like Charlie Kirk kind of getting stabbed. Yeah. This is
there's not a lot of safe places to get stabbed in the neck.
Yeah.
This dude's just running around like this is Assassin's Creed or something, just going around. Mm-hmm. Let me just stab a dude. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And I mean, there have been reports of break-ins, videos of people breaking into houses in Ceuta, murders in the street, rape happening in broad daylight. I mean, this has been, they're sending their best. These are all doctors and lawyers and engineers and astronauts. No, these are disgusting criminals. And it's quite clear that Morocco did this intentionally, because yesterday and today we received this very interesting photo of Moroccans trying to leave Ceuta after they got in because they were being chased out by the local police, the local constabulary. This guy's trying to get back to Morocco, and the Moroccan police are stoning him. And when I say stoning, I don't mean they're like throwing rocks at him like little, you get a nice round rock and you try to skip it across the lake. Now, I'm talking like this guy's got a boulder up in the air and he is trying to murder this guy.
Bouldering him.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's nuts. He's like, no, please stop the throwing.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm just trying to return to the country I'm from. And for that, these people are trying to kill him because they want you to stay in Ceuta. They're using, this is quite clearly, they are using these people as a weapon. This is a bio weapon. Okay. The invasion of your country by foreigners is a bio weapon. Because they know that if they invade, they can, if they get their population in there, if they can flip the population of Ceuta, which 50,000 people would double the population overnight, there is no way that they can hold on to that city. That vacation destination that has been a light on the African continent for centuries, that will disappear overnight because of this population influx. And there's no two ways about it. Yeah, and people are noticing. People are noticing things. Here we have the Israel Foreign Ministry. This is, see the gray check mark? This is an official account, official X account of Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. While this is going on, July 30th, our time, which is July 31st of their time, to the Kingdom of Morocco, its leadership, and its people, we extend our warmest congratulations on the occasion of the glorious throne day. Sincerely, Israel. That's kind of random, isn't it? For Israel to just be like, hey, congratulations, so-and-so. Let's scroll through the timeline and see how often that is. No, it's talking about Israel, Israel. They took a break out of their day to just be like, hey, Morocco, by the way. Here's one. Dear Switzerland, happy National Day. This is August 1st. So it's not unheard of for them to do this, but for the most part, they're reaching out. They're reaching out oddly at a very odd time about a very odd day. And some more oddities people are noticing. Here's Sean Davis. Give him a follow, if you will. Seems to be interesting. Nothing to see here, just Benjamin Netanyahu's son explicitly urging Muslims to invade Ceuta, Spain. And here is Yair Netanyahu, who has never signed up for the IDF, by the way. Every Israeli is supposed to do that. But I guess if you're the leader of Israel's son, you kind of don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Dear Arabs and Muslims, want to free occupied Arab Islamic lands? Here's a good start.
Yeah. Wow.
So
what a real fortunate son here.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't have to serve in the military. Gets to tell other people to invade countries. Like, come on, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And
what do you mean by this?
Yeah. Here's another post of him. He says, let's make a deal. We won't fund NGOs in your country calling you to give away Ceuta and Melilla, and you will stop funding NGOs in our country that call us to give away Judea and Samaria. So in his mind, this is tit for tat. This is Spain came out against Israel. Therefore, we hate Spain and want to see your country destroyed. In no uncertain terms. And here is Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is an Israeli official in the government there. My congratulations to the president of the government of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, for his profound commitment to welcoming immigration and human diversity. As someone who demonstrates great concern for Hamas and the residents of Gaza, what a liar, I call on you to translate words into action, open the doors of Spain, and grant refuge to the residents of Gaza who seek to immigrate. So this is just rubbing salt in the wound. This is while this is going on. He's like, hey, y'all are such humanitarians with these people coming in, human diversity. You're such friends to Palestine. Why don't you welcome in our refugees? The people whom we are murdering. He's laughing at them. He's mocking them. And, people in the comments pointing out, yeah. Yeah, these absolute hypocrites and disgusting human beings. And here is somebody posting a quote from Benjamin Netanyahu. I do not intend to allow any country to wage a diplomatic war against us without paying an immediate price. Benjamin Netanyahu on Spain in April of 26. And of course, that is within the context now of all of these thousands of people being led by the government of Morocco to invade these Spanish cities. And in case you're thinking, man, this is a bit of a stretch, this is all unrelated, here's an article from Jewish News, Europe's payback for the Holocaust. And you can read this whole thing, but I'll just skip down to this sentence. Europe's punishment for the Holocaust is the destruction of its culture, the fact that radical Islam is taking over the continent. And this is not somebody, saying, oh, isn't it awful that this is happening? This is people in Israel loving the fact that this is happening. They are overjoyed at the fact that Europe is being destroyed by Islam. And some people are wondering if maybe there isn't something coincidental going on as well with the date of July 31st. If you just Google, when were the Jews expelled from Spain? Jews were expelled from Spain in 1492 following the Alhambra decree issued by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. July 31st, 1492, the final deadline for Jews to either convert to Catholicism or completely vacate Spanish territories. So it's a key date. This was, and for people who are wondering if the date is significant, September 11th, 2001, when we suffered a horrible attack by Muslims, that is the anniversary of the Winged Hussars, when Europe came to the aid of Austria, which was being invaded by Muslims. And it was the last successful attempt by the Moors to conquer, or by the Turks to conquer Eastern Europe. After that, they got pushed back into Turkey, where they are today, another occupied area that used to be full of Europeans that is now full of Turks. And they chose that date intentionally. These are people with a long memory and no forgiveness. It is not a coincidence that this date was chosen for the invasion of Spain. You can, if you scroll around on Twitter, you can find Jews going to Rome and flipping off statues and saying, "We hate you, Rome, because of what you did in AD 70 to Jerusalem." Forgetting entirely the fact that the majority of Jews who died in the fall of Jerusalem were killed by other Jews in a civil war. Because they hate Europe. They hate Christianity, and they hate especially Rome and Spain. These people have a long memory, and they hold grudges, and they do not forgive. Here's Mossad International. The fall of Spain has begun. We never forget. We never forgive. In case you think I'm just pulling that out of my rear end. Look at this. Spain, they have a flag flying at their football game. Destroy Israel during a football game. And Israel takes it personally, and now they're like, hey, look, all of these people invading Spain, migrants storm border of northern Spain, and Mossad saying, your country is forfeit now. We are going to destroy you because of what you did in a football game, because of what you did in 1492. 600 years ago. We never forgive, we never forget. So to all those people right now who are talking about Judeo-Christian values, I want to make something very clear. Christianity is the only religion on the planet that believes in forgiveness and redemption. It is the only one. Islam does not believe that. Judaism, Talmudic Judaism, does not believe in forgiveness. These people are religiously opposed to forgiving their enemies. They hate Spain and want to see it destroyed because of things that happened 600 years ago. Yoav Kaufman, Jew, posted this: 2 states for 2 nations living side by side in peace and prosperity. He's drawing the line here. Oh, Morocco should just invade the mainland of Spain. Because, of course, he's mocking the idea that, Israel and Gaza can peacefully coexist. Israel and Palestine can have a 2-state solution. He wants to see Spain destroyed. These people are hateful. These people are vengeful. And these people are evil. So we've got more to get into, but before we do, I feel like this is a good time to take a break and hit some comments real quick. Because I need a break before I have a heart attack. Let's see. Nate Downey says, hello, boys. I'm back. Nate, good to see you, man. He says, the destruction of California radicalized a lot of us. Yeah. I mean, if you remember, California used to be a red state.
Yep.
Used to be a conservative holdout. Used to be a strong Republican state. Texas wasn't always a red state. California was a red state before Texas was. And then you had the invasion of Muslims. These people that just took over. Or Mexicans, rather.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're...
there have been a lot of Muslims coming to California, too. But, I mean, these Mexicans get imported. They get the ability to vote. And now California is no longer a red state. And probably never will be again. Nate Downey, again, says Mount Rainier profile picture is the prettiest part of the country I've been. The whole Pacific Northwest, really. Yeah, dude, I love the Pacific Northwest. I'm a very outdoorsy guy. I love hiking. I love camping, hunting, all of it. And the times I've been out to Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and Northern California, it is gorgeous. And we need to take it back. We need a reconquista. We need to drive out the foreigners and make it Christian and American once again. Check for Tunnels says, the name comes from the Latin word septem, meaning 7, which referred to the 7 local hills known as the Septem Fratres, or the 7 brothers. So,
take your word for it.
Ceuta, Septem, I guess I can see an evolution there. And evolved over time through Arabic, Sabta, into modern Spanish. Yeah. Spanish has been heavily influenced. As a matter of fact, all European language has been influenced by Arabic, but especially Spanish, it seems. So Ceuta from Septem. Yeah, it goes all the way back to the time of the Romans, guys. This is not a Moroccan city. This is a Roman city set on 7 hills. What do you know? They seem to have a thing for that. Check for Tunnel says, white woman would not be my first assumption. Yeah, people are speculating that. People are speculating that not white. Check for Tunnel says, we know she's a woman, though. That's enough. Right. Wow. It's not every single woman, but it's always a woman. Check for Tunnel says, Yair's tweet about tit for tat is a lie, though. The U.S. government doesn't do that, and they still push foreigners here with their NGOs. Yeah, I retweeted that tweet, and I said, the Jews are their own worst enemies. Both of these NGOs are Jewish. Yep. And that's true. I mean, the NGOs that are pushing to immigrate Muslims into Israel and to try to integrate them fully, they are also Jewish non-government organizations. And the ones trying to push Muslims into Europe are also Jewish non-government organizations. It's a very odd consistency. The ones in the U.S., even if you look at the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Missouri Synod, they have huge migrant organizations to bring foreigners here. But if you look at the people on the board of these organizations, they're not Lutherans and they're not Catholics. They've got very odd Middle Eastern and Germanic last names. So very, very interesting.
Very interesting. My thing with this is, is say like, well, the U.S. government doesn't do that, but they still push the foreigners here. Europe doesn't do that. In fact, I remember growing up, the big reason for why we need infinity immigration, as long as they do it legally, was, well, we have this really gay poem at the base of the Statue of Liberty that wasn't even originally there and showed up extremely late in our nation's history and doesn't define anything about who we are. But, it says, give me your tired, your poor, your whatever, striving to breathe free. Give me your brown, your smelly, your whatever, yearning to drive housing costs down. But they only in certain neighborhoods. But Europe doesn't have that. No European country has ever. That was the big thing. Like, America's the only country on earth that is founded as being a melting pot. We're like everyone else's greatest hits, right? No filler. We're just all the best people from everywhere. England never made that claim. London's been completely taken over to the point where John Cleese, notable liberal, maybe not American liberal type, but a fairly liberal person. He's from Monty Python Kids that don't know the classics. He was one of the better guys on Monty Python. He had tweeted out, like, London's not an English city anymore. And he got a lot of flack for that, but it's true. Germany there was never a German claim where, oh, Germany exists to be a home for everyone else to come here and help us build. No, Germany is always it's the ancestral land of the people who have lived, was it east of the Rhine, or however that's historically been defined. Because I know that the actual nation state of Germany hasn't existed super long. But the point being, like, these lands exist where people have lived for all these thousands of years.
Where this particular people have lived.
Well, and I guess where I'm trying to go with that is that if the claim that that Americans have to accept infinity foreigners, if that claim is, well, America's different, then why does everyone else now have to accept infinity foreigners?
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you the way that they rationalize it. It's a bunch of poppycock. But the way they rationalize it is, in England, they talk about the Windrush generation, which is after World War II. They needed migrant workers to come and rebuild the country because of all the bombings. And they do the same thing in Germany, too. It's like, oh, we had to import all these Turks to come and work low-wage jobs because we had to rebuild after the war. And the thing is, you can look back at the statistics. The Windrush generation did not build Britain. The post-war Turks did not build Germany. They showed up, they worked low-wage, low-skill jobs, and they were a net drain on the economy, just like they are today, as a matter of fact. History repeats itself. History continues unabated. They did not build these countries. They showed up to get on welfare, to pull scams, to drive crime up, to make neighborhoods more expensive, like Sean already pointed out. And these people are not a net positive to the countries that they have invaded. And they never have been, and they never will be. They are foreign interlopers, and they always have been, and they always will be. So, yeah, these people make these excuses. Oh, well, we need foreigners to boost our labor economy because we told all the white people to stop having children. And then they stopped having children, and now we need laborers. Or you could just have white people start having children again. Maybe if you've got a baby boom and an inverted bell shaped, population where all of the old people are dying off and you need even more young people to support that because of your federal programs, because of the handouts that old people live off of. Well, if you need more people to pay into the Ponzi scheme to keep it alive, why don't you just create more of your local population?
Well,
it
but
can work.
That's the thing, though, is that you don't need infinity people. The number on paper won't continue to go up that says that you're rich, but in reality, like, economics is a matter of you should never, like, in a just economic system, you'll never really have more. This is getting off on a tangent, but you won't have more than you could have built if you had the skills in a lifetime, or you're handing it to the next generation and they build on that. And what I mean by that is that you're doing some amount of labor for yourself that builds you up, even if there's not like actual like paper money. You can still go into a field, plant potatoes, and then put your labor into that soil and receive more potatoes than you had put into the land. You can increase in that way. You can chop down a tree and hone wood and build a house without exchanging a single dollar. But for the things that take expertise, you trade your expertise for somebody else's expertise. Usually that does take some kind of currency, and you're trading skill for skill. Whereas, where was I going with that? I had something that I thought was brilliant that I was going to say. I can't. How do we even get to this?
Talking about the loss of population supporting the older people.
Oh, yeah. You have all these jobs that really shouldn't exist. Mm-hmm. It is the problem. You have a lot of, what they call like Jewish daycare, where it's just like a way to pay women money to not have kids.
Fake spreadsheet jobs.
Yeah. So you create that kind of system, and then you can just plug in an Indian into that, right? All he does is sit at the computer and send emails or whatever. Like, that's not actually like putting labor into anything to create value.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of moving pieces around. Or guys who all they ever do to make any amount of money is just like bet on the stock market. You're not
creating anything.
Yeah. And that's why the, in God's law, there is a monetary policy, and it forbids usury, because usury is like the ultimate not adding anything of value into the economy, but making other people poor who are putting their labor into the economy. Mm-hmm. So they're getting poor, but you're getting richer, and all you do is just sit there and count shekels. That's not in accordance with God's decreed monetary policy.
Yeah, it is innately predatory.
Right. But if you excuse me, if you have such a policy, then you have to have crazy situations where it's like, oh, we can't afford to have kids. And then you don't have kids for a bit. And then, oh, but the monetary policy demands that we import foreigners. Well, importing the foreigners doesn't actually add value to what you have, right? Like, there's like the libertarian idea of, oh, it's more customers, right? So you can just like sell to more customers. But that's going back to like what at a base level, what the economy is just if you're out in the woods and there's not other people around, where it's just you and your family. Well, you can hunt a deer, right? And you can skin it and cook it, do all the things you got to do, and then that's feeding you and your family because you put that labor into hunting it. You got to build a fire and cook it, all that kind of stuff. So you don't need to be like trading in order to gain wealth, right? You could build a house. Ostensibly, having the skills, one man could build a nice house. So what I'm saying is like, there is no just economic system where you have to import any amount of foreigners to keep the economic system going. It deserves to crash.
Yeah, and the idea that you need to import foreigners in order for the economic system to work presupposes that your system is a Ponzi scheme. Okay, if you have a system that requires more people at the bottom to support the people at the top, that's called a pyramid scheme. All right, you are admitting in as many words that our economy is a pyramid scheme, which it is. I mean, breaking news to nobody. Yeah, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, our economy is a pyramid scheme. All right. The reason taxes are so high, the reason that you are paying like 50% of your income in taxes is because you are funding people on welfare, because you are funding old people's retirements, because you are funding infrastructure for old people who are predominantly not giving anything to the economy. They did give to the economy when they were working, but now they are net takers. And, if you do the math, I mean, the boomer generation have sucked our economy dry. They took generational wealth that they were handed by the war generation, and they have absolutely decimated our economy. Worse than decimated. They have scalped, they have murdered our economy. And they are, for the most part, leeches on the economy today. And I know people are going to say, oh, but they're old. Somebody should be caring for them. And yes, that is true for some of them. But a lot of them could still be working. I mean, I remember talking to boomers when I was first starting working that were getting a second job, a second career so that they could get a second retirement. In their 50s, they retired from something, went and got another job. And they're like, okay, I'm going to work for another 20 years. I'm going to get a second retirement. And they did that. And now they're living off of 2 retirements, adding nothing to the economy, only taking away from it. And that's not to say that they did bad things when they were working. They were adding to the economy. They were working hard. I don't begrudge them that. But if your whole reason for working is so that at the end of your life, you can just squat and consume, something ain't right.
Also, inflation is another thing that should not exist in a just economy. You and I, Jeff, we talked about, I mean, we had a whole show on silver and why silver is inherently valuable. It is a set standard. It never changes. Even when you compare, like, if you compare like what cattle cost in silver, 1,000 years ago, whatever it was, you were showing me this guy that does a comparison of what things cost in silver all these years ago and what they cost now. It hasn't changed. There's all this. I absolutely hate when people tell me like, oh, well, your house has gone up in value, so you've made all this money. Well, that's not true. That's just inflation. Inflation made the house more valuable. The house itself didn't get more valuable. And that's not value I can tap into unless I have to sell the house that I intended to buy in order to raise my children in. Which is another way of just saying, like, all the rapid inflation is just one more way to keep you in the rat race and steal your money that you worked for and not be able to save and never get ahead. So they just get more production out of you, right? Like the same amount of production is happening, but you're not making as much money doing it. I'm a big fan of Goy Slop and Goy Slop activities, as you can see, having me some Taco Bell right now. Um, and sometimes I'll just like stop at a gas station, get a Dr. Pepper, right? Do you remember what is it, 16 ounces, a bottle, like an actual, just like a plastic bottle of Dr. Pepper? Used to be like $1. I remember you would go in and the bottle was $1 and like the can would be 50 cents, 75 cents, something like that.
When you recycled it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll go in and it's like $3.25 for the bottle.
And it's plastic and gets thrown away. You get nothing back for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I recently went into a gas station. I had to use the bathroom, and so I go in there. And I buy Dr. Pepper, and there's a sticker on the window of the thing, and it said like Dr. Pepper $1.99, and I like gasped. I was like, $1.99, like that's only double what it should cost. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I remember when I was a kid, a can of Coke was like 50 cents.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have these vending machines that you'd put quarters into. 2 quarters would get you a can of Coke.
Yep.
And then it went up to 99 cents, and it hung out at 99 cents forever because they were very shy of going over 99 cents to $1. And then eventually it went over $1. And then at that point, it was just like, you know, off to the races. Out it comes. And there are no brakes on the train. You go to a vending machine, if you can find one. First off, it's probably not going to take change. You're going to have to swipe your credit card. And a can of Coke's going to be close to $5. And vending machines were always ripping you off. You know, when vending machines were selling Coke for 50 cents, you could go to the store and you could get a can for like 20 cents. You know, it was cheap if you bought it in a 12-pack. But because it was convenient, because it was cold, you're paying a premium. Now you're paying nearly $5 for a cold can. In the higher price gas stations, you know, everybody knows who owns those shady gas stations, those ones with no price tags on anything. Yeah. You get to the register, you ring it up, and it's $20 for, you know, the 3 things you grab, and you're like, okay, I want to see a receipt. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Because they never give you a receipt. You have to ask for one. And then when you get it, you look at it, it's like $5 for the can of Coke, $5 for the little tiny bag of chips. And you're like, how do you justify this?
Yeah.
How do you justify this? Well, they're ripping you off. But it's not just the Indian gas stations. Yes, it's always the Indian gas stations. It's not just the Indian gas stations ripping you off. It's also inflation. I mean, I was just talking with a friend this week about silver. And, you know, this here, 1 silver round, 1 ounce of silver is $60. $60. Most of my silver that I have, I bought when it was $18 an ounce. And it's not because, you know, silver became more valuable. It's because the brakes came off the inflation train, especially around COVID, and they just printed money like there was no tomorrow. Because in the long term, we are all dead. So what does it matter? All right. Somebody famously asked Sir Maynard Keynes, the economist, so your economy that's based off of inflation and usury and all this stuff, he says, what in the long term, what is the outcome? And Keynes said, in the long term, we're all dead. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to kick that can down the road just far enough to where it's not my problem anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to rot in hell. You know, I'm you know, this guy who famously went overseas to Turkey and places so that he could have sex with children. He knew that his fate in the afterlife was going to be bad. Yeah, by the way, your government being run by pedophiles, that's not new. That's been since the 1800s, okay? That's not
honestly
new.
That's been since time immemorial.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a thing for a while in all non-Christian countries forever.
Yeah.
You know, since you mentioned it, I just wanted to give a plug to the Rational Ranchers. You can look these guys up on YouTube. Yeah. He's just a normal everyday dude, but he did this video some time ago. Let's see, when did he post this video? Oh, I guess it was only 6 months ago. But the silver to cattle ratio, and he says, you know, if you look in the 1800s, how much silver would buy you how many head of cattle, how many ounces to head. And then you look at that same number right now, it's exactly the same. The only thing that has changed is the denominated currency. And that tells you something. You know, if you're working a job where you're getting, $15 an hour, and you've been at that same job for 3 years and you've been making the same wages for 3 years, you are being paid less now for the same work because your wages are not keeping up with inflation. You are being robbed by your employer, but mostly by the government, because your employer's getting robbed too.
Well, that's right? Like where I work, we have a division of like salesmen. So there's like technicians, there's salesmen, there's different aspects to the job. And the salesman I'm always talking with, they're like, man, they changed the rate card again. And I'm like, no way, dude. Like, what's it up to now? And it's just, it's some of these prices have like doubled since 5-6 years ago when I started with the company. And but I'm talking with the manager, and I'm like, well, hey, like, I understand that the prices have went up because of inflation. And so we had to we raise prices on our end because the dollar isn't worth what it was before. And so the salesmen, because they're on percentages, they're ostensibly making more money now because of inflation raising the prices. What about the technicians?
Yeah, what about us hoi polloi? What about us blue collar workers?
Yeah, because what's happened is you've lowered the percentage of our earning, like the percentage of each product. We earn a smaller percentage of that now because you haven't given us raises in light of inflation. And I bring all that up. This isn't just like a side rant. This is part of the demographic replacement. It's part of the, they want to make the heritage population poor so that we don't have kids. Little do they know, me and Jeff are still going to be having kids.
Yeah, we're going to be really poor, but we're going to have kids.
Yeah, we're just going to live in a shanty with a bunch of kids. But I mean,
the spirit of the white man will not be quashed.
Right? Yeah, I do unfortunately believe that most heritage Americans really are going that route, especially the younger ones that are just like, dude, women are hooers. I'm not getting married. I'm not having kids. Honestly, and I mean, I've said this a million times, like, if you take children out of the equation of what you desire in life, there's no reason to get married. There's no reason to be straight. I mean, if we're saying like everything's on the table, right?
If we take morality out of the equation,
right? Without that, that's why I've said like the desire of our parents' generation, not our parents, but our parents' generation, to not have kids has now led to our generation. Well, I don't even want women. Like, I'm just cool with like sausage fest. Because I mean, why not, right? At that point, like there's not even a need for any kind of birth control or whatever to stop kids, because I'm just with a dude. Dude, that one black pastor that I was sent the link to, where he was just talking about how like, you want to be inside another man's lower intestine? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, that dude's just something else. Anyways,
he's right. He's right.
Right? Yeah. He's like, are you packing doo doo? Like, he's like, bro, can you imagine Sunday morning being like that? Like, what is this? Anyways, yeah, like it's all related. It's all part of the Kalergi plan. It's not just a matter of we're going to replace you with a foreigner. We're also going to stop you from replacing yourself with the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and it's not like we're divining this and coming up with, hey, it was revealed to me in a dream.
Yeah.
They have written these things down. They have stated these things openly.
It was
They're
revealed
not
to me
shy.
by the protocols of the elders of Zion.
Yeah, I mean, they aren't hiding the ball. They're telling us exactly what they are. And when your enemy tells you what he is, believe him. All right, getting back into the comments. Check for Tunnel says the need for endless population growth and endless monetary growth. Yeah, that is exactly what our system is, and it is a Ponzi scheme. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yellow Moss says 20 ounces of Dr. Pepper should be $1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Under Christian nationalism.
Under Christian nationalism, 20 ounces of Dr. Pepper will be $1. We're
20
coming
ounce
for
in
you.
fact, a 20 ounce of Dr. Pepper will be the standard for which $1 is measured. So that will be not the gold standard, but the 20 ounces of Dr. Pepper standard. $1 will buy this.
I'm here for it. He said he gets particular forever. Yes, that
Forever
is.
and ever. That's right.
It's we're going to peg the value of the dollar to the 20 ounce Dr. Pepper. Yelma says then the fountain drink was $1, so you did that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, fountain drinks used to be almost free.
Oh yeah, I stopped at a place. It was called like Casey's or something. It's a gas station. It's not like a. Are you familiar with that one? They don't have a lot of them out here, but there is one that's.
They have a lot of them around me now. There used to be none of them, but we had Cefco convenience stores, which was run by Gary Fikes, who lives up the road from me, or lived. He dead. He died, and Cefco got bought by Casey's. So every single Cefco is now going to be a Casey's, and Cefco used to be the gas station in Central Texas. You know, from Waco to Austin, it was the most common, the most popular, and they used to be clean. They used to be nice. After Mr. Fikes died, they kind of went downhill. They started hiring foreigners, and everything got expensive, and everything got dirty and nasty. But his wife, his reprobate wife, sold out to Casey's, which is an Oklahoma company. And so now we have like a dozen Casey's, I will say, within spitting distance of my house.
The Casey's out in the backwoods part of Granbury was very nice. I stopped there. I really had to bleed the lizard, and so I went out and clean toilet, all that. Nice, overweight, middle-aged woman at the counter. You know, got me the fountain drink, which is probably, I mean, it was the medium, but like a medium in America is like,
it's huge.
Gigantic. Yeah. So I got that, and you know, I put it on the counter. Just this, you know what I mean? Like I don't wait for it because I'm white. I don't just sit there with a dumb look on my face, like waiting for a question to happen. But so, hey, I'm only buying this. Boop, there it is. This is a medium. And she's like, all right. I pull out my card, and she's like, all right, this like 98 cents or whatever. I was like, 98 cents? Like what? She's like, yeah, it's a sale all summer. I was like, I was
white boy summer, guys.
Dude,
we're back.
Yeah, we're back. 98 cent fountain drinks. I mean, it was a huge one too. I was like, dude.
I will say with the Casey's taking over, when Mr. Fikes died and the news broke that all the Cefcos were going to get bought out by Casey's, I was a bit bummed about it because it was a very, it was a local company, and they were a stalwart representation of Central Texas, and they're just up the road from me in Temple, and with the way they went downhill, and then once Casey's took over, the bathrooms are clean again. They've got stuff on the shelves again. Prices actually match what you get at the register. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe it had to happen. So yeah, Casey's, that's a nod to you. Thank you for rescuing the local gas stations. Please don't H-1B visa. Please don't H-1B visa every Indian from the subcontinent into Central Texas. Please just hire locals. We would really love that. Yellow Moss says now a fountain drink is $3 and the cups are never there and it tastes like crap. Yeah, some of them, but Casey's and QT are holding up their end of the bargain. So good on you guys. Dude, QT, I love QT.
I'm a QT fan myself. And
I am seriously considering getting a credit card from QT to get that discount on their gas because I find myself filling up there anyway. Might as well. Nate Downey says, my grandpa remembers when gas was 5 cents a gallon. Those were the days. Of course, in the way inflation works, I mean, 5 cents a gallon was probably a lot of money back then, but not anymore.
I remember seeing. Now, this is when I was very young, and I don't remember which digit it was, but I remember seeing a lot of signs having to add the extra digit because gas was finally getting to whatever it was. I think it was once it got over $1. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. Like that was the transition I was seeing where the signs had to be changed out because they didn't have
they didn't have that third digital. And they didn't have digital signs either. And they had to go out and change them by hand.
I don't remember them having the fraction of a cent thing on there as well. Like, who has to get that precise about pricing?
Yeah, gas? Well, I mean, if you're doing the pennies,
but just round up. I've never understood that, man. Like, how much?
I think it was always people trying to scam.
Yeah,
I mean, and for the longest time, you'd see that fraction of a cent was just 9/10 of a dollar. It was like $1.99 and 9/10. Most gas stations now, they just round it up and it's just the even number. So but there were old gas stations that had gone out of business that still had the sandwich board outside and it said 75 1/3 cent per gallon. And man, those were the days. The lowest I've ever seen it actually at an open gas station, not a place that closed down and just had the old sign out. The cheapest I've ever seen it was, I want to say, 97 cents. For some reason that sticks in my head. It was like it was under a gallon and it did not, or under $1 a gallon, and it did not last long. It was right back up to over $1 again, almost immediately.
The first Trump presidency, I was getting gas. I remember like the digital high fives that everyone was giving when it finally got under $2.
Mm-hmm.
You put a picture up and people were like, yeah, we did it, under $2. And then it got all the way down to like $1.70 or something. And this is in 2019, 2018, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Just good times, man.
Yep. And then COVID.
Yeah.
The artificial economy wrecker that was designed to take out our economy, and boy, it did. But Nate talking about his grandpa remembers when it was 5 cents a gallon. He says he's 102. So yeah, well, he's sitting in his rocking chair telling you about the good old days. Yep. Yellow Moss says clip it. I don't know what you're talking about, but
when I was talking about how we don't need women and we could just be gay and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure if you take it out of context, it's
yeah. But I mean, it's a very valid point. The reasons for marriage are to create offspring and to have illicit sexual relations. And if you take those two factors out of the equation, which our society largely has, what is the benefit of marriage? There isn't one. If you're not going to have kids anyway, if you're not going to have illicit sex, if you're just going to be a porn brain and gooning all the time and shacking up with who knows who, why get married? It's the cost benefit analysis doesn't work anymore. And well, what do you know? People aren't getting married. It's almost, I won't say this, but it's almost like they did it intentionally. Yellow Moth says Dr. Pepper standard. That's right. That's what our economy is going to be. I really like Casey's Pizza. Yeah, dude, they have a sausage pizza that is always good.
That's what he says. That was the next comment.
Oh yeah, there you go. He says Casey's sausage pizza guy.
Must be
they've got it on that little thing spinning around, keeping it hot all the time. Go in there first thing in the morning, last thing at night. You can get a slice of pizza. It's expensive, but you can do it. And he says, "Are we so back?" Yes, Yellow Moth. We are so back.
We will be at our most back when we can get Casey's to sponsor the show.
Casey's, if you're listening, sponsor the show.
Hit us up. We are fans.
Yeah, I'm sure they would not touch this show with a 40-foot pole, but that would be funny. That would be cool. All right. Well, with that being said, let's get back into the show. And where we left off, we were talking about the Jews. Weren't we? I mean, that's not where it started. We were
Again?
talking about Morocco. We were talking about Spain. How do the Jews factor into this? Why is it? Is it just, in our head? Like, why does this keep happening? Are we going nuts? Are we? Chat, am I crazy? Let's see.
Every day, thousands of refugees arrive on this shore. Waiting to help them on the beaches of Greece are the last people the Syrians might expect. Volunteers from Israel.
We see
But the first ones I
which
expect.
are only a few days.
Yeah. Are you surprised? Because I wasn't surprised.
I like how their whole thing is like, these Muslims don't expect to see Jews helping them. Whereas the Christians are like, that's who I expect to see helping them. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
that's the first person I expected to see helping Muslims.
Helping their biological weapons.
Yeah. Who opened the gates of Toledo again?
Yeah.
In the first Islamic conquest of Spain? Oh, it was the Jews. What do you know? And that's not a contested fact, by the way.
Old people at the age of 90, 95 even. And we get mainly people from Syria, also from Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran.
What we do is go to Hind Point.
Iran? I thought the Jews hated the Iranians. And they're bringing Iranians into Europe? What's that all about?
Binocular searching and scanning the water, and you start looking for this black with orange dots in the view. And then it comes nearer and you start seeing the rubber boat and all the people on it.
Gay flappy arms.
1, 2, 3, it begins. It's a few minutes of chaos. Taking off the babies, people screaming, shouting, helping them. A lot of them don't know how to swim. They're afraid from the water.
Can I just real quick just pray to my whale icon over here? Please, please save us, whales.
That was one of the clips that got cut was orcas were eating the Moroccans that were trying to make it into Spain. And very, very bizarre, very funny.
Hey, I want to point out, in case I forget to bring this up, because I was thinking about it when we were watching the World War Z scene of people just mounting that wall, because that's literally what it looked like. For those who don't know, that was the movie is nothing like the book. The book is an all-time favorite of mine. I think I have it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's up there.
I have to put that on the list of things to
Oh, dude. Yeah. It was written by Mel Brooks' son.
No, really?
It's like the one thing he's done that got any acclaim. But anyways, the movie's nothing like the book. But there's a scene where it's like they're in Israel and Israel's putting down their weapons and they're letting all the Palestinians come into their borders so they can be safe from the zombies. And then the zombies just like mount this wall. Anyways, that's so terrifying. Like just like a wall of humanity just flooding over you, or like this, where it's just like infinity people. Like they don't have weapons. Like all they have is that they consume. They're like locusts, right? Like when grasshoppers go into locust mode, the fear is not, oh, they're going to eat me alive. No, they're going to eat my resources alive. And they're just going to overwhelm me with sheer numbers. Like I can fight one grasshopper, right? I cannot fight a whole swarm of them going locust and eating everything and just being a wall of like a biological weapon, right? And that's what these people are, dude. I mean, I know that sounds inhumane, but like it's not humane to treat yourself as a biological weapon, like to be part of this. Historically, when someone would try to defeat you via war or whatever, you would fight back. That's what you would do. The men would fight. Now, the men just leave the women and children behind and hop on a dinghy. I mean, whatever country these people are coming from. I mean, obviously they bring kids with them, but all those people in
and
Spain,
this is selected footage as well.
Yeah,
I mean, we have the numbers. We know that the women and children are a vast minority of the people coming over, and they're selectively editing to get videos of children and grandmothers and things like that, who are, by the way, a drain on the economy. If the purpose of these people coming here is to benefit your economy, why are we importing 90-year-old grandmas and infants who are needy? Yeah, being a bioweapon is not humane. If you want to be treated humanely, be humane. Act humanely. And fleeing war in your home country, I mean, I understand the desire to get out. But if all of your fighting aged males are disappearing, maybe that's the reason your country is war-torn. I mean, there was a statistic that we talked about on the show a while ago. It's like something like, wasn't it 1/4 of all Mexicans live in the United States?
Yeah,
and then
like
you wonder why Mexico is a hellhole. You wonder why their economy is garbage. You wonder why the cartels run the show. Well, if all of their best and brightest, even if they're not the best and not that bright, even if their best people are all over here working sheetrock and putting roofs on and doing manual labor, those guys that are manual laborers in America, they could be running a small town. They could be a mayor of a town back in Mexico. I mean, I've talked to these guys. I'm friends with these guys. I know them. I'm a blue-collar worker. I work with these Mexicans. I know them. They could be turning their country into a livable, beautiful country. But instead, they're over here working for peanuts because our government has decided they want to import a slave class. And I hate it.
I want to clarify one thing with that. They can turn their country into a livable, beautiful country for them.
For them.
They cannot create a livable, beautiful country for me. Right?
Yeah, we have different standards.
Exactly.
And if you go to their houses that you see, I mean, they live in squalor. Here in the U.S., they turn their little enclaves, their little neighborhoods into little Mexicos. And they live in squalor.
Whatever the plaster or whatever it is that they use on their houses, they use it here too, like on the inside. Like you feel like you're in like an Adobe hut type thing when you, or whatever it is that they make their houses.
Yeah, Adobe.
But it's the same. Yeah, it's like the same thing. So they just take like an old house that we built with like wood, and they just like plaster their Adobe whatever over it, and so it looks like I'll go into a Mexican's house, they've got like the Virgin Mary shrine, Adobe walls, like all the dusty floors. Like, where did all this dust come from? Like, it's just like, it's like being back in Mexico, man. It's freaking weird.
It is. And it's very quaint and kind of beautiful in its own way, but it's beautiful in a way that they could do that back home. I don't want that here.
The other thing, I'm sorry, I have to rant about this.
Keep going.
It was driving me nuts this week. So I remember growing up, and if someone would like drive by playing music in their car, and it would be like Tom Petty or Leonard Skinner or something like that, and I'd be
Dire
like,
Straits.
yeah, and I'm like singing along with it, like, yeah, Skinner, let's go. I remember one time I was in San Francisco. It was really gay, but it wasn't like the bad. Well, I guess both kind of gays are bad, but the other kind of gay. Like it wasn't like like it was like homosexual, but it wasn't like fallen completely.
The vestiges 90s. Of good.
Yeah, like it was still nice to go there. There wasn't the poop map, right? There was that aspect of it. It was still very nice to go there. This is in the 90s. I'm a little kid, and this dude in a convertible next to us. So we're driving with the windows down because the weather's just amazing. And so we're driving like some steep street, whatever. And this guy next to us comes up and he's like singing at the top of his lungs to it was Van Halen, Dance the Night Away. So song I know, my aunt and uncle who I'm with, they know it, right? And we're just like kind of like, yeah, let's go Van Halen. And I mean, this dude was like going for it. Like he didn't care who, because he's in a convertible, right? Like there was no
right
surrounded, but he's like, ooh, baby, baby. Like he's just like going for it. Take that, right? That part of my culture that I grew up in, and it's the culture of all the people within earshot of this dude playing Van Halen, right? Take that and put some foreign language circus music. It's like every song is that. And now I just feel like I'm having foreign things just raped into my ear holes, and it makes me just, it fills me with rage, because it sucks. Like foreign cultures suck, right? Foreign people in my AO, right? In my area of operation, go be in your own AO. In my AO, don't do foreign stuff, because that's like violence towards me.
It's rude. It's antisocial behavior.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this. Oh my goodness, dude. I called this one customer, like I can hear by the music that he's playing that he's black, right? It was some kind of like R&B stuff. I'd never met this guy. I go up to the door. Hey, like, you know, I ring the doorbell. Nothing. Well, he doesn't hear it because he's playing his music, right? We'll call it music. And then, you know, banging on the door. Doesn't hear me. So I call him up. Hey, I'm here. I bet. Oh my goodness. He's one of those kind of guys, right? And it was just like everything about how this person was just did not enjoy it. It was not a cultural, it wasn't a fun cultural experience for me. He was coming from Tennessee. I want to say like Memphis area. And
I guess we know which side of Memphis.
Yeah. Like
because Memphis is one of those cities that's still kind of split.
Yeah. So, all that to say, like, I don't care which foreign culture it is. I don't want to hear it. Right. Like, I don't want to hear, man, what would even be like a white person equivalent of it? Because I actually like, what is that band called? What is that Rammstein? I actually like Rammstein. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I could listen to that, even though that's in.
Yeah, but I mean, we would still feel resentful if we had, instead of Mexicans, it was Bulgarians coming in with their Bulgarian music and their Bulgarian bulgogi and, you know, this kind of stuff. You know, there would be people saying, well, why do you want the Bulgarians to leave? Don't you like bulgogi? You know, just like they do with tacos. Like, oh, but, you know, yeah, the crime is high, but have you had street tacos? It's like, you know what? I'd rather have no street tacos and have no crime, or at least lower crime, or the crime that I'm accustomed to. You know, I'd rather have low crime than have bulgogi and Bulgarian music.
Yeah, as if I couldn't eat burgers and fries and chicken nuggies every single day of my life. Come on, guys. Like, I don't need your crappy ethnic experience.
Yeah, I mean, Taco Bell. You know, you're eating Taco Bell right now. Taco Bell is named for a guy.
You look at this.
Yeah, Taco Bell is named for a guy. I think his name was James Bell. All right, he weren't no Mexican. All right, we have the recipes. Right, they can go home. They can leave. Yeah, I mean, that was meant to be a parody, but it's so true. So true, dog. Yeah, we have the recipes.
I was watching an episode of whatever Gordon Ramsay show he does, like in Europe, because him like over on that side of the Atlantic, is a very different person than who he is for American television. Like in American television, he's just like
always screaming at people.
I'll kill you. Like everything's just like, man, this dude's really violent. But over there, he's
it's
like
for the TV.
Yeah. Over there, he's like, haha, your restaurant sucks. Let's fix it. Like, so, but he went into whatever Indian curry place, right? And he's like, oh, I'm going to make you the best curry you've ever had. And these people are just like, oh, this is so delicious. Like,
from an Englishman.
Gordon Ramsay can crush it with curry. I promise you his curry would crush it.
Yeah, like, we don't need Indians. We have Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I don't need whatever authentic foot smell you have on your hands to be in my curry for it to taste good.
Yeah. And to people who say, oh, that's completely, overblown. When I was in India, people would tell me that food tastes better when it's prepared with bare hands. Like they would straight up say, you have to use your hands and you have to not wash your hands because it imparts flavor to the food. And I'm listening to this as an American going, is that really flavor that I want? Do I want somebody's unwashed hands in my food? Is that really what we're after? But they said it with a straight face. Oh yeah, food tastes better when you eat it with your hands, when you prepare it with your hands. Like, I don't know, bud. I don't know. Let's hit comments again. Yellow Moss says, okay, guys, let's each bring our Xboxes to Sean's house. We can get a Casey's sausage pizza, some Dr. Pepper, and have a Halo LAN party. Yeah. Well, I do not own an Xbox. I have a PC, but PC Master Race. Yeah. But I'd be down for that. Invite myself over to your house. I'd do that. And Yo Moss says, did you see that USAID funded all of rap? It was always trash. Yeah, correct. That is a thing that happened. And
now, what kind of documents do we have that says that, other than USAID went down and now rap is like off the charts? Like what?
There is some documentation that particular rappers were funded by the USAID program. But why and to what extent isn't particularly spelled out. So there is a little bit of conspiracy theorizing that you have to do. But Yellow Moss says polka music. Yeah, thing is, I kind of like polka music, but only if I can understand the words. Right? Czech music, I like some of it, but I don't listen to Czech music all day, even if it's a genre, a style of music I like, because I don't understand the words. I listen to German music, but I speak German. Most Americans don't speak German, and they would not prefer to listen to German music all the time, and they shouldn't have to. No more than Bulgarian or Spanish or any of these other languages.
I guess the equivalent would be that in certain enclaves within America, there's going to be areas where hearing country music is very offensive to them. And there's going to be some areas where hearing rock music is very offensive to them. And so there's going to be like a little bit of a clash, right? Like there's going to be, like I said, like I grew up having Beatles grandma and Elvis grandma. Like they were both, you know what I mean? Like it was two sides of the track. So yeah, it was just I mean maybe there's something to that. Like I remember in the 90s growing up, it was really popular to not like country music where I was at. Like there was a very popular country station. There were people who very much like country music, but I remember that being kind of a divide. And anyways, maybe that's the equivalent of what I'm trying to think about.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got people in New England who don't want to listen to country music, they shouldn't have to listen to country music.
Right.
If I went up to Maine and I was driving around with my windows down blaring country music, people would probably not like it. And you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I am imposing my culture on them and they don't want it. And you know what? That's fair. Yellow Moss says, I learned German so I could listen to Rammstein. Based. based. My favorite German songs are 99 Luftballons and Major Tom, old classics. But let's get back into the topic here. JD, Lost My Hats. Follow him on Twitter if you haven't. He's a good dude, and he's very thoughtful. But he wrote a long blurb, and I'm just going to read it out to you because I think this is worth sharing. So he says, if you're wondering why people are blaming the Jews for opening the Ceuta, I don't speak Spanish, okay. The Ceuta gates to Muslim hordes in Spain, it's because, among other reasons, they seem to do that a lot. They opened the gates to Toledo in 711 AD, subjecting the same Iberian Peninsula to 700 years of Islamic rule. And they opened the gates to Constantinople in 1453, subjecting it to Islamic rule that continues to this day. Those are facts. Both accounts are historically verified, demonstrably so, and widely believed from the time they occurred until the 20th century in Germany, which made it impossible to say true things. Until then, that was the official accepted historic narrative and authentic received accounts in the actual history textbooks. Jewish historians at the time and contemptuously acknowledge both accounts as true. So, combine that with Israeli officials repeatedly bragging about flooding Europe with Islamic migrants, Israel being in a heated diplomatic battle with Spain because Spain doesn't tolerate their bullcrap, the Israeli ambassador to the UN saying some pretty suspicious stuff, Israeli citizens applauding the invasion, a joke tweet by an Israeli government official, and the fact that this is, in fact, the type of things that Israeli intelligence is super good at, you can understand why people would naturally be looking in the direction of Israel. So when you act like it's just those crazy anti-Semites again, going off the rails into conspiracy theory, keep in mind that the only truly crazy thing is to rule it out. Yes, full send. The full send. The Jews even opened the gates of Vienna, but it was unsuccessful. Yeah. And here he has, it's time to talk about Judeo-Islamism. Jews opened the gates of white Christian cities to Muslim invaders in Toledo, 712, Constantinople, 1453, and Vienna, 1683, to name just a few, just as they have done according to the post-war consensus. Anon, if you don't get it, you're not going to make it.
You know, did these cities just not have gate guards, or like what was the deal with that? Like,
well, what would happen is they would have minority populations of Jewish individuals who would weasel their way into political power. And then they would, it was all legal. All right. At no point was anything they did illegal. But you know how Jews are with laws, you know, wiggling things around and hemming and hawing and making excuses and changing the meanings of words. And that's what they did. In every single one of those cases, they used political machinations to gain the power to do these things. In Toledo, it was because the army was out fighting a battle, and the person in charge was a Jewish guy. And he was like, well, you know, I'm going to surrender the city in order to save the population. Yeah, it sounds humane, sounds great, but the result was 700 years of occupying Islamic oppression. And then Camp of the Saints. We've mentioned it.
Yep.
Here's Dr. James White, HWS Eleutheroy. Camp of the Saints, 1973, Gene Russ Pale, being fulfilled literally in 2026. The West, history will record, committed suicide. That is when they start doing history again. And do you know what, James White? You're exactly right. So why, Dr. White, were we being called racist for mentioning this book 5 years ago? You know, on his show, he referenced this book and called people racist for propagating it. I was there, Dr. White. I listened to your show. And now you're quoting it. Why? Because it's become obvious that it was true. Camp of the Saints is not fiction, just like 1984 is not fiction. This is exactly what's happening right now. Natural Law Theonomist, give him a follow. He's a bro. He says, Mr. White cites a book which aptly names Indian invaders shit-eaters and monsters, yet is furious at the right wing saying the same thing, which proves this whole schism is over jealousy and the boomer refusal to hand over the torch. You know what? He ain't wrong. He's not wrong. And I think what's going on here is the cognitive dissonance is just getting too hard to handle. At some point, you have to admit the truth that's right in front of your face. And he's been pushed to that extreme. We have some time. So I've got a video that I want to show people because it's just wild. Somebody posted this video of a girl dancing at the beach with Indian invaders. Why do so many liberal white women get so excited over invading migrant men? And
Come on, buddy. Can I kiss you on the cheek too? No. Okay.
and she's dancing around, having a great time,
Next guy.
behaving sexually with multiple men. And we know how this is going to go when the lights go out. We all know that she's not a virgin, that she's celebrating because she gets to have her licentious pleasures fulfilled. So I retweeted it and I gave this answer, and it's harsh, but I feel appropriate. And I said, the answer to why do so many liberal white women get so excited over invading migrant men? Because white men are sexually restrained. In general, they are responsible and caring. They aren't going to have a child out of wedlock, and they want to settle down with a wife and children. These foreigners are animalistic. They just want to have as much sex as they can and then leave. She is a professional whore. Which one does she want? And yeah, that's harsh. But you know what? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I dare you. You know the facts. You know this physiognomy. Fat chick having sex with foreigners. I mean, this is... Sean, I see you laughing, but I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm muted for good reason.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, she's... I suppose she'd likely be a wallflower in any other situation.
Mm-hmm. But now she gets to be the life of the party.
In a just economy, she would be on the wall by herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now she's got what? What was this? 5, 6 different immigrant men who are all dreaming of banging her, and they probably all will.
Yeah.
You know, where does she get to have that kind of high value desirability? Well, if she imports infinity foreigners, she can have it every single day.
Yeah. You got to think, like, compared to what they have at home, like, that's
pretty nice.
I mean, that's a trophy right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she has a fetish for that. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and she's into it. Yeah. I mean, she gets as much out of them as they're getting out of her. Yeah. I mean, this is the argument against free market economics right here.
Yeah.
Because in a free market economy, it makes sense. You know, she's getting what she wants, they're getting what they want, so therefore there are no victims, right? No victim, no crime. And yet we all know that this is immoral, unjust, and degenerate. Maybe there should be some regulation on the sexual market.
Oh, that was like we had so nasty, dude. We had this we're in Afghanistan, this one woman soldier. Here's your ad for sending your daughters to the military. This one woman was like just very clearly going in the one interpreter's tent and banging it out. And we were just like, dog, what are you doing? Like, they would just be like hanging out, and it was so nasty, dude. And I mean, there's I'm not getting into the details, but like, come on, Like, you nasty. Just. It's hard to even look at her the same way after knowing some crazy stuff like that happened. Because I was close with the interpreters. Like one interpreter,
Yeah.
one interpreter
and they
in particular.
They would share stuff too.
Well, the one interpreter that I was very close with, he would tell me that the other interpreter was doing whatever, like to the point where there was like some details that would not exist if that had not happened. So just gross, dude. Like what are you doing, man? Like, I know you can smell that dude because I smell that dude. Like, it's a different smell. Like, it's not. I mean, if you've ever even for, okay.
How do I say this without getting crucified?
Yeah. There's if you're hopefully this audience doesn't have any women in it, but for the sake of the future, yeah.
For the sake of future generations.
Yeah, for future generations' sake, yeah. If you're a man, you know that women of a foreign race smell different, good or bad. If that's like your fetish, like there's guys that are just like into whatever,
especially
whatever,
Asians.
Yeah, whatever version of non-white. There's a different smell. Not always with like Hispanics and Asians, but like with black women in particular, there's a very distinct smell. And I would say the same thing, like when I was like in Afghanistan, like the Afghan dudes, like I don't ever smell. I don't usually pick up a guy's smell, right? Like unless they smell like some armpit butthole combo type deal, right? Like you don't just pick up like, oh wow, that guy smells really nice. Like you usually just don't smell them at all. But it was distinct. It was a distinct armpit butthole combo. And she was into it, I guess. Whatever she was doing. Like it was like that, like BO smell mixed with like a bonfire type deal. I don't like some kind of smokiness in the mix. I don't know. It was weird. Sorry, reliving some.
Yeah, memories, man. Yeah. Some of them more prescient than others. Some more pleasant than others. But we've talked about a lot of degrading and unfortunate and civilization ending stuff. I felt like we needed a palate cleanser. So just for fun,
do you have some? Okay,
I found this video, and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So
that's okay. That's okay.
Who thinks of this?
It is a flying lawnmower. Now, Sean, you're old enough to remember. Do you remember the memes of the flying lawnmower?
No.
I don't remember the entire context of it, but I just remember there was. Look at that thing go, dude!
It's impressive.
That is so wild.
The engineering.
Doing a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just because he can.
Just because he can.
Like there's no serious reason to do this.
Yeah, I mean it was just, white man had a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see aerodynamically it's not all that. I mean, as soon as it points downward, it falls pretty hard. But the fact that he's able to make this thing fly, I mean, the position where the motor would be is essentially a foil. And it's doing all of the lifting through the center. And then you can also see the handlebars are actually foils as well, so he's getting some added lift there. Just incredible. Just incredible, man. I mean, how amazing is that? So
He's good.
I won't keep going, but yeah, he's doing tricks. I mean, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
The indomitable Western spirit. When Sir Edmund Hillary was asked, why did you climb Mount Everest? And he said, because it was there, right? Why
Right.
did you build a flying lawnmower? Because I could.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to. How awesome. All right, well, let's close out with comments. Check for Tunnel says, compelling argument. Please commence the boot scoot boogie. Yeah, I mean, that's a classic. Yellow Moss says, check for Tunnels. That's way better than achy breaky heart. Hey,
Yeah,
I will not hear achy breaky heart slander.
I'm not a fan of that one.
Ah, no,
You can
that's a classic. Today I learned Sean has strong sense of smell. Poor guy.
I ever since I realized I have this since high school, I can smell when women are in Japanese Flag Week. I can smell it. It doesn't smell. I'm not going to say it smells bad.
It's just different.
It's primal. It's yeah, but it's a distinct smell. I pick it up, and it's always the same. But I can pick it up, and I'm like, yeah,
I know what that is.
I hear you, girl. Yeah,
interesting.
Since high school,
social distance.
Yeah,
for my own sake.
Yeah. I'm going to emotionally detach for a couple days until you start smelling different. Like,
hey, it checks out. Blood is one of those stronger smelling things. I remember one time I was had a little puppy, and she was just a doll. I adored this little girl. We had to get rid of her because she was eating our chickens, so she went off to a farm. Oh, no. Literally, guys, literally. We didn't. She didn't go off to a farm figuratively. We gave her to some farmers. But I was messing around with her doghouse, and I bought this big heating pad, and I was going to put a heating pad in her doghouse, but I was cutting a hole in the doghouse for the wire to go through, And she's all over me, just bouncing around in the doghouse, out of the doghouse, in my lap, on my back. She's just, she's a puppy. She's bouncing around. And I get my knife and I push down hard and then finally pop that last piece of plastic out. And then not a second later, I just get this overwhelming smell of iron. I'm like, what is that smell? And my puppy had put her paw where my knife was, and I hadn't seen it. And I cut her real bad on the paw, and I felt so bad. And she didn't even cry. Like she took it right on the nose, and she was a champ. And I got that thing wrapped up, and it was like she didn't even get touched. She was unfazed. She was just a trooper, and I love that dog so much. But miss her still. But the overwhelming smell of blood. Like there's a couple of times. One time when I got really badly injured, I nearly degloved my thumb. I don't know how well it'll show up on the camera here, but I've got a scar that goes all the way around my thumb where I nearly degloved myself. And the first thing, even before the pain, I smelled the blood. And very strong smells. One of my favorite strong smells is gunpowder. When you're out on a range day, love that. Yellow Moss says, why did you put a lawnmower in the sky? Because it wasn't there. Right. Taking a page out of Sir Edmund Hillary. That's right. And Yellow Moth again, I had a strong sense of smell until I got COVID, and I know what you mean. Yeah.
People reported that. I mean, it didn't happen to me when I had COVID. So, I mean, I don't know. For some people, they were just like, dude, I can't smell anymore. Yeah,
that happened to me in a big way. It didn't last. So I've got my smell back. But when I got COVID, the way I knew I had COVID, I was at my in-laws' house is where I decided to fall sick, and they nursed me back to health. And it was brutal. I mean, I was out for like a week and a half. And then after that, I was so weak, I couldn't hardly work. I was sleeping like 18 hours a day in recovery. It took me a long time to get over it. But the way I knew it was COVID and not just some cold that I had got was because I was sitting at my father-in-law's dining room table, and my mother-in-law was in the kitchen, like right in front of me. And she had this, my father-in-law, he loves spicy stuff. He found this horseradish sauce that was just awesome. Right before I got sick, it was fantastic. And so I get out of my room where I'm like in confinement, just dying, just every kind of disgusting that you could imagine, taking like 15 baths a day, just trying to get, or showers a day, trying to wash the nastiness off. And so I come out to eat some food, and I make this sandwich: piece of bread, some meat, lettuce, tomato, and I get this bottle of horseradish, and I dump it on there, and I take a bite. And I'm like, oh man, the horseradish, went in the fridge, and I guess it lost its flavor. And I'm just like dumping this thing. I open the sandwich back up, and I'm just dumping it on. I'm tasting it. I'm like, there's no horseradish. This stuff, it got old in the fridge. Man, what a bummer, because I was really enjoying it. And I look up right in front of me, and my mom, my mother-in-law, is in the kitchen, and she is tears rolling down her face from the smell of horseradish in the kitchen, the next room over, and I'm sitting there and I can't taste it. I'm like, yeah. So that was a thing. That was the thing that happened. But my taste has returned, and I'm none the worse for wear. But that was definitely a thing. Definitely a thing that happened. Sean, closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, no real closing thoughts on the topic, but I just wanted to let everyone know I am getting a minor back surgery tomorrow. And I say that it's minor, like people don't believe that there is such a thing, but I mean, I'm cleared to go to work the next day. Like that's how minor it is. Like it's not like they're like replacing parts of my spine or something crazy.
They're not fusing two of your backbones.
Yeah, it's not a fusion or anything like that. It's some kind of spacer type things that they're putting in there. I guess like the jelly in between some of my vertebrae are not really there, and so this is like a preliminary thing that they try is like put in these spacer type things, but I'll be doing that. Always down for your prayers. I don't have any icons that pray for me, so I could use some extra living.
Could use some actual saints to pray for me.
Yeah. So there's that. Personal things. I mean, I kind of alluded to it earlier. Had stuff going on last week, and it was the reason I wasn't on the show. We plan on talking about some of that kind of stuff next week. So look forward to that. Stuff that is PTSD related, and talk about some military stuff and probably weave women in the military into that. So interested in that topic. A lot to say on that topic. I'm sure me and Jeff will probably cross swords a bit on that topic, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me. So keep me in prayer. If I seem like I'm kind of down, well, it's also because of foreigners, but there's stuff going on. Like right now, okay, what do I got? Let me see. Got an Amber Alert. Hispanic, don't care. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference anyways, guys. Like what do you want me to do with that? Come on.
The Amber Alerts too. The thing, the Amber Alerts, 99% of the time you look at it, it's like female named Gutierrez missing because she kidnapped an infant named Gutierrez. And you're like, is this really something I need to get involved in? Is some foreigner's family drama? Yeah. Really? You're texting every phone in the country over a custody dispute?
One of my more proud quips on Twitter was like some some Mexican guy or Hispanic, some whatever, Mexican or even further south Mexican, was given some opinion that didn't matter. And I said, like, thank you for your opinion, generic Hispanic name guy. Because his name was like Juan Gutierrez or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah. Like, thank you for your like
thank you for your input.
five first names and 5 last names, and somewhere in there we get, oh, there's a name.
Yeah. Well, closing thoughts. I want to give some encouragement, guys. The worse things get, the more people are going to wake up. And so, yes, things are getting bad. Things are real bad right now, but more people, like the example with Dr. White, quoting Camp of the Saints or positively referencing it. The worse things get, the more people are going to realize that we were right. And the best way to handle that is to, it might feel good to do the victory lap and be like, told you so. Why, like we did, just now, why were you opposing me when I said this 6 years ago? It's like, well, and there's a time and a place for that. You are not wrong to feel that way. But at the same time, we need to welcome these people into the fold with open arms, also realizing that they're not going to be politically on the same page we are. When people start to notice, just try to help them along. And if you try to help them along and they respond negatively, that's okay. Just drop it and move on. It's winning someone's heart and winning them to your position, whether it be political or theological, is often a death by 1,000 cuts. It's about persistence. Don't cut these people out of your life. Be the normal, good person you are to your neighbor. And when he starts saying things like, man, have you noticed the Jews are really involved in stuff like this? Yeah, just agree with him. You don't have to pull out your, protocols of the Elders of Zion and tell them about how Jewish space lasers are controlling the weather. You don't have to go all full hog. Jews killed Kennedy. Did you know? You don't have to do all that.
There are, however, good ways to kind of like test, like to kind of see like how far this is going to go, right? Like I was speaking at a local Young Republicans thing, and it's a good organization in this area. Met some good people through it, and I said something about how I didn't like. I didn't say it as like I don't like this one Jewish guy, but it was basically like I don't like this one politician, and he has like a super
Jewish surname.
I can't remember what his name is.
It was like Goldstein Bergowitz.
It was Craig Goldman. There you go. And he is I had noted. Well, I said something about, and I was like, well, I know this is a Republican thing. It's like Craig Goldman's your guy, and like one of the guys was like, "No, dude, speak freely, right?" I was like, "Oh, in that case, let me tell you about Craig Goldman." And I just like went off about like he's the reason that you can't boycott Israeli companies, and he's the reason that you can't say mean things about Israel without getting punished for it and stuff in the state of Texas. And I just went this whole thing, and people were like joking about like, oh man, watch out. We need to, like one guy was, we need to destroy the recording of the camera that's up here for the restaurant that we're at. And I was like, yeah, I could feel the heart attack gun hitting me already. And like, it was like a whole thing. And like, it was like, okay, yeah, we got this.
But being nonchalant about it, being, kind of facetious about it, playful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But, when you point these things out, you are going to have people who do react negatively. And when that happens, just move on. You can't save all of them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can tell a man truth, but you can't make him think. All right. So be patient with your fellow man. Be patient with your fellow national, your fellow heritage American, and try to open their eyes, but don't try so hard that you ruin friendships or family relationships over it. Just, speak the truth, but speak the truth in love. And as bad as things are right now, just remember, the Reconquista took a couple hundred years. And things can always get worse. And things generally get worse before they get better. But God has not forsaken his people. God loves us. He loves Europeans. He loves Americans. And as crazy as it may sound, he also loves those third worlders who are trying to invade and destroy your country. And the way that you can show God's love to them is by sending them home where they belong so that they can live a fulfilling life in their own country. So don't be afraid to show God's love, but also to show his justice. And do not rob your neighbor for the sake of winning brownie points with the left to look like a good person. Be unafraid. Go out there and do good things. And in order to do good things, you should go to bed because it's late and you got good things to do. God has prepared good works for you this week. And you get well rested so that you can do them. And we should do that too. If you are a Buy Me a Coffee supporter at the Father tier, we really appreciate it. There will be an after show that begins immediately after this. If you'd like to support our show financially, the best way to do that is buymeacoffee.com/for-future-generations. Otherwise, give this video a like, give it a share, subscribe to our YouTube and our Rumble, and follow us on Twitter. The links for all those are in the description. Also, give a shout, give some money to Dave's Volt lapel pins. Go and throw him some shekels. Buy some cool merch from him. We really appreciate him for sponsoring this show.
Interesting developing news that I saw today. Now former Congresswoman Kay Granger has died. She was she covered at least part of the Fort Worth area. She was famous for being caught in, as an active congresswoman, she was in a nursing home, like mentally unfit. Like she was just caught in there for like 6 months. She was away. Like people were like, how come she's not showing up to votes? What's going on? She was
found her in a nursing home.
She was in like a insane, like an old person's crazy house type thing. So she has died. Didn't like her. And oh well. R.I.P. Bozo.
All right. Well, with that said, folks, hope you have a wonderful night. My dogs are going crazy. Another ambulance or fire truck going by. So with that said, thank you for watching. Share the show. Give it a like. Maybe comment on our YouTube video so that we can get some algorithmic progress. Would really appreciate that. But with that said, folks, thanks for being here. Love you, and we'll see you later.